to election 2021. My name is Ron Cox, Executive Director of UMA, Urban Media Arts, formerly known as METV, Malden's Media Center. And welcome to tonight's incredible event. We are live, and we got a great evening planned for you. Not only are we going to get the returns in, but we're going to look back at this campaign and what was good about it, what was kind of crazy about it, and just kind of look at it. And I got a guest to talk about it, and we're inviting these candidates down, and we already have one candidate. Brian DeLacy has just showed up. So let me introduce, first of all, my panelists. And you've probably seen him around town. He's always in the news. Let's hear for Prisco Tamaro. Prisco, thanks a lot for coming, man.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much for inviting me.
And I do appreciate you coming by. And again, this is a time for politicians to come by. So we have our first politician. His name is Brian DeLacy, and he's running for councilor at large. Brian, thanks a lot for coming by.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And thank you for coming by.
It's wonderful. I said I would when we saw you at the Salem School today, and here we are. So thank you.
Well, let's kind of talk about the race. We're going to be, we don't have a candidate, we're going to be talking about the race. But since you're here, first candidate, and thank you for coming by.
Glad to.
When I think of what you've been doing to the community over the years, I always look upon you as being that guy who's out there recording meetings and presenting that meeting online and showing it wherever you can. And when did you start that?
I think it was early 2016, in January or so, was some of the first meetings that we recorded. The committee meetings in particular, which were less visible to most people.
And what made you do that?
Well, you know, it was the early stages, and in fact, there's a wonderful story about how someone in Cambridge was trying to do the same thing around the same time, and they literally were removed from the meeting because they weren't allowed to record, even though it was entirely allowable under open meeting law from the state. And so I looked into it, and I just thought there were resource constraints about meetings. Wouldn't it be great, and there's tremendous information shared in the committee meetings, wouldn't it be great to share it with the public? And so that's really the genesis of how we get going.
Well, we appreciate it because, you know, everybody says, why can't UMA record all the meetings? And it's just, we have limited resources.
Hugely time-consuming to do.
It's time-consuming, and you know firsthand what that's all about.
Yeah.
So talk about the progression you had from recording these meetings to eventually saying, hey, I'm going to run for office.
Yeah, well, it started and we would record them and then kind of process them and then post them to the web, YouTube, or something like that. And then sometime after your other panelist tonight, Prisco actually began recording them with better technology and better approach, Facebook Live. And so actually then they were streamed live. And then John Mayara actually took it to almost a new level, which so all of a sudden you've got multiple people who are doing it, where he did a fabulous job with audio and video. And in fact, he would do multiple meetings a night. And again, all of this was to supplement what MATV was doing as well. So it got out to more people. And it was all about just citizen engagement. And so, you know, here we are today.
So you said, so you did decide to run for office, and that's a big thing to make.
Yeah.
And talk about that moment when you said, gosh, I'm running for office now. Look what I got to do now.
Yeah, well, so I ran in 2015 for the Ward 3 council seat, and and that was really what gave me an introduction to just the breadth of information that's available. And running for a ward seat is really different than running for a citywide seat. I have tremendous admiration for anybody who engages. Our volunteers are kind of here in the studio to help. It takes volunteers. The good people of Malden throughout this campaign, we've met them on the streets, on the porches, in their car, in crazy places, and really to a person, everybody has been welcoming, gracious, and engaged. So it's been a very rewarding process.
Prisco, any questions you might have?
No, it's great. Yeah, definitely having more of the meetings videotaped, and hopefully with the new city hall, they can step up their game and do it for us.
And Prisco and I actually met back in 2015, as he'll recall, and it was in and around the hospital activities, right? And he and I would walk the neighborhood at night sometimes and talk about this. And so it kind of was the forming of a community of people who care about the city of Malden, and this is just a different way of caring. I think everybody should run sometime, and one of the goals of this campaign really has been to figure out ways to do it more cost effectively in a way that other people could do it in the future. So.
All right. So now you're running for office, and in terms of being on the campaign trail, what were some of the high points of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. The great people that we met, some people who have lived in Malden all their lives. Of course, a highlight was John, who's 96 years old, and he stormed the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. And he was just tucked away in a back street of Maplewood Square, and the stories that just fell out. And, an elderly woman who took care of her disabled, even older sister. So the thing that drew me in 2015 were family friends who lived on the other side of the Fellsway, and daily they had to transit that, what I call the asphalt octopus, to get their kid to school, and then look at how much has changed in the years since. So it's the people, it's the candidates, and the volunteers have just been fabulous throughout. So
that's great. So what are your plans if in case some reason you don't win? What are you going to stay involved?
Well, I'm not sure. For me, and I'll be honest with you, for me, this isn't a make or break kind of thing. I did this, I got involved in this because I believe the residents of Malden deserve a choice. And I think they've had some pretty good choices. This has been the best election I'm aware of in the recent years in terms of information being available, in terms of and to give tremendous credit to UMA and the other organizations who have had online forums. Fabulous. Again, time consuming. Guillermo, congratulations to him and his move to the next step. Fabulous. And the technology, the downside, of course, of the pandemic was how it disrupted all our lives.
Yeah.
A benefit really has been the ability to connect people online and electronically. So I'm not going anywhere, and hopefully Malden will benefit from this wonderful election.
All right. Well, before we leave, let me give you a chance because it's going to be important. A lot of voters out there right now have made their decision. What would you like to say to the voters? If you could look right at that camera over there and tell them.
I just say thank you for getting out and voting. You get a chance to vote for free. It's a freebie. It's a gift, and it's your future. And municipal elections, in particular, what we've gone through, these are decisions that will impact all of us on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So if you didn't get around to vote this time, please vote next time. 2 years from here, you'll have another chance at it. But for all those people who did vote, thank you very much.
Brian, thank you so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it, and good luck tonight.
Great coverage.
Stay right there. We're going to go to a little roll in. Karen, who's one of our interns down here, and I went out to the polls this afternoon, and want to get a reading for just what was happening out there. And we did this around 2 in the afternoon, to about 2:30. We started at the far eastern side of Malden, over at Linden School. So we want to talk to the pollsters, and that's what we did. And we have a little roll in. We're going to take a little bit of a look at that, and then come back and talk more with Prisco and whatever candidate shows up.
Nate for running, and we hope that he wins. Go, Nate!
All right, that's it. Anybody want to show some tips on how you hold the signs? Just hold them straight up. Is that how you do it? Wear gloves. Wear gloves. Anybody else want to talk?
I'm just very excited for tonight and see what happens. Nate did an amazing job, and this is actually the first campaign I've ever worked for, and he set really high standards for future campaigns. So, yeah, I'm excited.
And what's your name?
I'm Becca Zlotowicz.
Thank you so much. Nate, good luck, man. I appreciate it. Come by the studio later. We're going to be live getting in the return. So if you just come by and want to thank the voters, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks a lot.
So much.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
There you go. This is Nate. Good luck, everybody. How you guys doing? Let's try these guys. You guys want to talk on camera? Yeah. You all excited about the process? Yeah. That's great. Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over here. Who we got here? All right, we got some pollsters here holding Janine Sika and Greg Spatafora. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Get in here and get you out. So how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing great. All looking forward to the returns?
I am. Can't wait for 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep, election day.
So how long you been out here for?
Since about 6:30 this morning.
Wow, that's when they opened up.
Yep, when they opened up.
That's
Yep.
great.
Had to get my spot, get all my stuff here. Yeah,
So you're actually holding a sign for Craig as well.
I am.
So how's that work out?
So far, so good. Craig is great.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep, I support him 100%.
So how do you think the campaign went, all in all?
I think it went pretty well, all things considered, Craziest election cycle I've ever been a part of.
It's the most one with most people running, I think, than ever before.
Really?
I think it
Yeah, I
is.
didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
especially for council at large. Never had that many
Yeah,
open
I knew
seats.
that. Yeah, I knew that. Wow, yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
going to be
contested races.
it's going to be great to see, who makes it to the top after 8 tonight. So.
We're invited to come down to the studio and say a few words if you want. We'll be live at 7:30.
All right, great. Thank you.
All right, anybody want to say hi?
Hi.
All right. These are the workers, right?
Yeah.
And you keep them fed, right? Didn't you? I know you're keeping them fed, right?
Yes, I'm keeping them fed.
What's the favorite snack?
We got cheese and crackers and pizzas. Good, some candy, a little bit of everything. You got to hang out here all day. You got to eat well, right?
That's right. Well, I'm sure everybody thanks for the food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing who wins tonight. Sharon's right here herself, ladies and gentlemen. Sharon, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Been out here all morning. It's been fantastic. One of my favorite parts, I'm getting to actually meet people. I made a lot of phone contacts during the campaign, so it's been really nice having people come up and introduce themselves and get to actually meet people in person, like Maureen.
So how do you think the campaign went this year?
I had fun doing it since the first time that I ran, and so I learned an awful lot. And my favorite part has actually been, which was the surprise for me, was actually knocking on doors and getting out and actually hearing what people had to say. So I've enjoyed that part. And there's things that I'll end up that hopefully I end up winning. If not, there's things that I'll still be trying to make a difference and contribute to the city. That I just believe in helping families and helping kids with achieving as much as they can, and I have ways that I can do that. So I'm excited. I'm excited. It's been
Well,
fun.
thank you very much. Who's this fellow next to you?
This is
I'm Sam. I'm Sharon's oldest son. So I'm, of course, here holding signs to help my mother out.
So your first time in the political process, or have you been it before?
No, I've never. I mean, we've held signs. I know we're a politically active family. We've held signs. We've supported candidates. This is the second time supporting our family because my father ran years ago, and then my mother decided to run this time.
Ah, so it's kind of in the blood, huh?
Yeah, if you're asking if I'm going to run at some point in the future, let's finish this election first.
Yeah, one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for talking with us, and good luck in the campaign. And it ends tonight.
It does. Yep. So we should probably know by like 8:15.
We hope
Usually
so.
The results come in pretty quick, so
We'll
we're
find out.
excited.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
What you do too. We
Thank
had
you
a
very
nice
much. Well,
enjoyed the forum.
it was great that we had so much participation. We're very happy about
I
that.
agree.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
All right. Well, there you have it. Here at Ward 8, right? We're going to make sure you get the right ward. And we're going to move on and see who else is out here polling. Okay. We're back. All right. There we go. We're going to see a lot of those tonight. We went to all the wards, and that's just one example of people going out and supporting their candidates, and that's what it's all about. This is America 2021. All right, I want to introduce again Sharon Fillier, who's now on our set here. Sharon, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ron. Glad to
Sharon,
be back.
a former board member here at UMA, and you've seen her voice. We've used her at voiceovers, plenty of voiceovers.
Yeah, I do a lot of the voiceover work for UMA, and I also have, I teach senior exercise, so you may have seen the exercise show. They call me the drill sergeant. I don't think I'm that bad, but it has been so much fun just watching everything kind of evolve today, and just the fervor of, the excitement of this election, and that Maldonians want to be included in it. It's wonderful.
And one of the other things that you've been doing is government meetings.
Yes.
You're now one of our main people to go to when, with Guillermo leaving.
Right.
We got to get somebody record these meetings, and you've been doing it all along when Guillermo
Right.
couldn't do it anyway. And so, what's that been like?
Well, it's very interesting. I think you mentioned in an earlier segment, we have citizens that actually record the meetings as well. But recording the meetings gives access to those Maldonians who are home to see this political process. It's actually quite involved. Robert's Rules of Order, how it's implemented. Maybe people haven't studied that in school, but it just gives people a kind of bird's eye view of how the laws and the legislation is actually enacted and voted on.
Yeah, and it's great that we get a chance to see what's going on at these meetings, and
Yes.
that's what we're here for, to really hopefully get you engaged in your community and what goes on. And back to you, Prisco, in terms of this campaign, it's probably been one of the most exciting ones in a long time. What are your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. I think having the two empty, there we are, at-large seats, I think is a big deal, and I think getting those 6 people in, it would have been nice to do a preliminary, but having a nice mixture of 6 at-larges, I think, is great as well.
It really has been.
Every city council every city council is up for the race.
Except for Paul Condon.
Except for two. Two's a stronghold. But so it's an exciting race for everybody.
And the other thing we're going to be looking at is, again, we had touched upon Council at Large being pretty much all open seats because Craig had his seat, but with Steve Winslow stepping down. And let's talk about that. When's the last time somebody was at Council at Large and went back to the ward to run for a ward? Have you ever heard of it?
I spoke to a couple of old timers, and nobody remembers a time that happened. Definitely not in my lifetime. So it was interesting. It was a little shuffling of different seats and going where, and so it was a little confusing in the beginning, and then but here we are.
Yeah, definitely here we are, and that's why I think it's going to be an exciting night because really, with Craig being the only, I guess, incumbent in a way, and with 2 years going by, COVID in the meantime, a new whole group of people here coming to Malden.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if the old guard, so to speak, represented by Craig, holds on, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's always good for that. I mean, you always want some new blood coming in. You want some mixture, but you also have to appreciate the people with experience. And I thought, especially during this COVID, the seniority that Councilor Anderson and Councilor Condon gave. Sometimes the council was just going a little left or right or haywire or whatever the word is,
or maybe not moving at all.
Yeah, and it was, and I think especially in Councilor Anderson and also Councilor Connor, it just kind of brought them back to focus and say, listen, this is what we're here for. And so I think a good mixture of good blood, new blood to start the new ideas, and some of the old blood that can help push things along.
Yeah, and then it was because that period of time when. Neil, I don't think this is unprecedented, got council president 2 years in a row. And the interesting thing about that is there were sitting councilors that didn't get that chance, and we wonder why.
You wondered about that, and then when he did his retirement, then you realized, okay, I mean, it was he had an idea of his retirement and he wanted it to be his last year, and so that absolutely made sense. I believe he did it a few years back though too with Nestor, I think. Going back to 2014. But it's not completely unprecedented, but it's definitely not traditional.
Well, my feeling is it was kind of that council that really needed him at that time, because I felt like, you know, with all this squabbling about what was open meeting law, what was this, what was that, it's almost like they needed an elder statesman to kind of carry them through that transition. I felt.
Yeah, open meeting law is a very important tool that we have. I think it's the tool of the people, keeping the government accounted for. But yeah, it slowed a lot of stuff down as well. So it's a balance.
And I'd like to also mention some of the meetings that I had the privilege of recording, watching Mr. Anderson, Councilman Anderson, handle and navigate this sort of bickering that would go on was just tremendous. He was so good at it. He was able to bring calm and to sort of bring everyone back to center and get everyone refocused on what the issue was at hand. He is spectacular in that regard. So, I mean, it is a great, I don't know, he provided such a great service to Malden, and we will miss him greatly sitting on city council.
Yes,
he served a long time.
We're trying to get him to come on the show tonight, and he said, you know, they're taking a break, and I completely understand that. He's done his service, and I appreciate it. Neil, if you're watching, thank you for your service to our community, and I know you're going to still be in touch. So we look forward to maybe you coming down here and getting behind the scenes and be a commentator. We'd love to have you do that.
Oh, that would be great.
But let's get back to the what I see as two forces going on here in the city. And it really is happening, and maybe we can discuss this. And there's no simple way to label it, and I don't really, I hesitate to label it, but just for communication purposes, I think you look upon, there's a group of people here in Malden that I would call the progressives, or the new thinking kind of thing that's going on. And there are candidates who are up for office for that. And then, of course, you got the more traditional part of Malden where, and again, I don't think it's a matter of ideology or being a liberal or conservative, but it's more like we're the traditional group. This is the way it's always been done. And I think you've got these two big pots here in Malden. And let's talk about just, number one, am I right about that kind of thing existing? And two, do you see these guys working together for the betterment of Malden, coming together to really move forward?
Yeah, the 6-5 split, they call it.
Yep.
And so, I don't know, some people say it started with the election of the president, of the council president. I sort of remembered it closer to March, and I was actually trying to pinpoint exactly when it went off in my head. But yeah, no, it's an interesting dynamic, and we'll see how it comes out in this election. Certainly a lot of just about every ward, progressive versus however you want to label it.
And I think the next thing we'll be looking at tonight is turnout. And I think you've got some figures and facts, Frisco. It'd be interesting to see turnout tonight, because now with COVID not as prevalent as it was in the past, but in 2019, the other election, there was no COVID. So it'd be interesting to see. What are some of the statistics, Frisco, you could share?
Yeah, we looked up some numbers, and so it last year, or last city election, 27%. Which is pretty high for municipal. I think average municipal is mid-20s to low 20s. 2 years before, 22% in 17, 21 in 15, and 21 in 13. So this year, I don't know. It's I don't know if we want to do predictions.
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking that it's going to be a bigger than expected, and I think it's from. What was last time?
27% and 19.
All right, I'm going for the 28%.
28 and Sharon.
Bigger.
I'll say 28%. That
28.
sounds 28%. I'll go with you.
We're up to Mr.
I'll go
Galley.
30.5.
Oh!
I think it's going to get a lot of people. I think our numbers have just been going up and up every year. So I think we're going to go in that trend.
Well, it's certainly heading in the right direction, because again, we've talked about in the past, and really engagement is really what it's all about. And somehow, how do you get the population, the community itself, to really be engaged? And I know you're a big proponent of, hey, the more we show light on the meetings and what they're talking about, that's what gets people involved. And I think that that's a big part of it. And I also think having really positive elections helps. And there was a period of time there was some negativity. I think right towards the end, that I think wasn't as bad. But we're going to talk about that, I think, in the next segment. Anything you want to add to that in terms of
Well, I just wanted to mention that I think in light of COVID and, all of us being quarantined, I think people began to become more concerned about how do laws affect me? What really goes on with this legislative process? And even in terms of like congressional, bill movement, people are more interested. And maybe because of COVID, that gave people time to give pause so they could think about this legislative process. And I think that is part of the engagement. Hopefully, this will last much longer than COVID, after COVID ends. But I think that also having the meetings accessible to anyone to watch on television is key. There can be a disconnect if there's no coverage of it and you just hear about it in the news. But just having that visibility is very, very important. And once again, UMA is a big part of that.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Okay, well, again, we're out at the polls this afternoon, and I want to make sure that we get to visit all the wards like we did today with Karen's help. So we have, let's go back to that segment, and while we wait for more candidates to show up, and the polls will be closing in about 6 minutes. So, yeah, we're almost there. So hopefully we'll have some preliminary results. Let's find out. But in the meantime, let's go check out the polls and what was happening this afternoon. All right, here we are at Ward 7, and who do we happen to see but Chris Savinelli himself. Chris, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What a great day for voting, huh?
MATV or UMA, it's called now, right? Yeah. Okay. How you all doing?
Doing great,
good,
and I just want to know how the politicians are out here campaigning right to the last minute.
Listen, we're campaigning right up to the last minute, like you said. It's been great. Everybody's been getting along over here, and I think it's been a really good turnout. I think they said it was over 300 already that's voted at Suffolk Manor, and I think like 225 or 230 have voted over at Fairway. We've had a great day for it. I mean, I know we lost the sun a little bit now and it's cloudy, but I mean, other than that, we've had a wonderful day today, I think, you know, as far as people getting out and people being excited. And that's what it's all about, is bringing excitement to the neighborhood, getting people out, especially after this pandemic that we've been hit with, you know.
Well, the other thing that people are interested in, you were the city council at one time, and you've come out again, and now here you are at it again. What's different this time?
What's different this time for me, in the beginning, nothing was different. It was like, all right, we're going to, you know, do some green space, create some green space, affordable housing, infrastructure work, after-school programs, all those things that the neighborhood needs. But as I was out there campaigning and talking to people and knocking on doors, it come to find out that people, what they want is neighborhood community camaraderie, spirituality, on the parks, neighborhood parties. That's why we did one the other day for the Halloween stuff, and we've been doing them through the whole campaign. And I think that that's what needs to happen right now. We need to get the neighborhood to know each other again, know their neighbors, not just the same neighbors that are on the street. What's up, guys? Thank you for coming. All right, not just the guys that are, you know, just the people that live on your street, but you know, the people that live a block, 2 blocks over from here, 3 blocks over from here. That's how
we're all in this together. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
That's right. That's right. And you know, and I'm finding out different stuff. You know, I'm very liberal on some things, and I'm very conservative on other things. It depends on what the topic is. You know, and I think that that's what needs to happen. You need more leadership on the council itself, so that you can reach across the aisles and pull these people over and say, okay, well, I like those views you got there, but maybe not so much on the other ones. And I like your views over here, but maybe not so much. So why don't you two get together and work and put a working paper together, and we can always tweak it as things go along. That's the
You're
working
kind of a
paper.
pragmatic kind of guy.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You know, I mean, listen, if we can't work together, you're never going to move the city forward. You're just not. If you put personalities in place of real live issues that are going on in the neighborhoods and in the city as a whole, you know, you're not going to move the city forward. There's just no way unless people start getting along better, you know.
Well, as the campaign comes to an end, anything you want to say to the voters? We're in that campaign.
Yeah, I do. I just want to say thank you very much for welcoming me back to my neighborhood, welcoming me back to the city of Malden. All the city officials, the constituents, my friends, family have been welcoming with open arms and being very warm to me. And it just shows how great Malden is as a community to welcome someone like me back in some of the trials and tribulations that I've had in my personal life. And Malden's looked past that and looking for second chances, and I think that's great. And you know, I'll never forget it. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much, Chris. And let's talk about your workers here. What do you say? Let's get over and talk to them. Hey, come on. Anything? Yeah, here they are. Anything you guys want to say? What are the tips of holding the sign?
Just stay warm, keep it moving. Try to talk to the people, not get too.
All right, good. We'll do a nice little pan. All right, that's Chris taking some voters right there.
Thank you.
See, this Chris, one-on-one with each voter as they drive by, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take some more down here. How you doing? Anything you guys want to say? MTV, Omar. All right, Kelly, how you doing?
Kelly?
How are you?
Who are you voting for?
Chris Manelli.
Good answer.
You can ask her how she's holding up.
How are you holding up?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, yeah.
That's great. So you knew going in this is going to be happening?
I did, yeah.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
She's voting for me today, but she's probably not talking to me tomorrow.
Well, again, thanks a lot for talking with us, Chris.
thank you so
Good luck
much.
tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Come on by the studio and say hi.
I will do that.
All right.
Hold his side.
This is Laurie Lee.
Hold his side. Baby Paul, hold his side. Yeah, baby Paul.
Laurie Lee's been inspirational.
Yes,
this
really.
campaign.
They got the enthusiasm, folks. No doubt about it. All right, here we are still at Ward 7, and of course we've got to check out the other side. And Michelle Luong is somewhere to be here, but I think we got some voters out here and some posters. Tell me about what it's been like out here.
It's a little chilly, but I'm glad we got out early. These folks have actually been around a lot longer than I have. There's Jimmy Luong right down there. That's Michelle's husband.
Yeah.
And this is her daughter, Juliana. Hi.
So what's your technique of holding the sign?
Hold on for dear life. It gets windy.
There you go. Very
You'll
good. Very
float
good.
away.
Fantastic.
It is a bit windy. Sometimes helps to turn it to the
That's good.
side.
So in terms of Michelle, what do you think candidates been like?
Honestly, I think it's a close race for everybody. I think everyone's got a fair shot, and everyone's doing a great job and doing the best that they can, and that's all you can hope for.
That's right.
It's the
Thank
name
you
of
so
the
much.
game.
Thank you so much. Let me to get you. What's your name, sir?
I'm Andres.
And tell us what it's been like holding this sign.
It's great. It's great.
And did you get out and vote today?
No, not yet.
Well, get out there. All right, this Michelle's husband. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Great. So what's it been like campaigning?
Cold, getting cold. Getting
You've
cold.
been campaigning.
Yeah, down to the wire. That's it. The last minute. So hopefully the turnout will be good. We'll take it when it comes.
And what do you think was the high point of the campaign for Michelle?
Just go door to door knocking, meet people, talk to people, and get people out to vote. So hopefully everybody come out. It's until 8 o'clock. Get out and vote.
Hey, we're back. Okay, moving along. That's what was that? 7? Yeah. So again, it was a lot of fun seeing those people out there, and I'll tell you, it's not easy to get people to hold those signs, and you got to really have a committed group of people who. Luckily today it was kind of cool, but there was no rain. And I remember one election season, it was pouring rain, and people out there still holding the signs. But luckily today that wasn't the case. All right, we're back at the Studio A, and I'll talk a little bit more about another thing that's happened in this campaign, and that was the significant amount of money that came in from outside. And you know, I've been involved in politics in Malden a long time, and in the old days, you had fundraising, cookie sales, you got your friends involved, you got your family involved, and that was pretty much it. You raised some money, bake sales, bingo, various things like that. This year, my God, there was so much money there that the consultants were being paid. Let's talk about that and how you think that affected the race.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of money. We did some numbers, and so they do their campaign finance 8 days before, if they're in a preliminary, or if 8 days before the election, and then they'll do a post-campaign finance. And so the numbers for the preliminary for this year came were more than the past 2 municipal elections combined.
Wow.
So I think so it's $177,000 so far was raised this year, all the way from $900 Barbara Murphy to $29,000 Carrie McDonald. And so yeah, that's definitely an incredible amount of money.
And that money is coming from outside the city, and that's what's interesting. That you know, obviously. I don't know if it's coming from Everett. You know, what does that mean when that happens, do you think? Are there agendas involved?
You use your networking to get the money that you can get. And so if you work in Boston, you get your fellow coworkers in Boston or whoever to get in. I think it's less about where, and I guess, I don't know, it's 29,000. I think the norm has been between 3 and 6 on the council side. Maybe the at-larges have been going up around 15,000. And so we've just seen a big spike this year.
So, and it seems to be that with this increased funding, that the attack is a little bit more sophisticated. So these candidates are taking these elections very seriously, and they're doing what it takes to win. And so that means more money. But it is interesting that there is outside funding coming in, but it just underscores the sort of intensity of these races.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sharon. I think the other aspect to this is, you know, concern I have is for those traditional candidates that wouldn't enter a race now because they don't have the funding, they don't have the connections, but they have the desire and willingness to engage. So you worry about that it's almost like that. They always have the thing about the gap between the rich and the poor seems to be getting bigger. To me, this is the gap between community engagement and being pulled away from it because it's not attainable. More thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I think campaign managers was something that people thought about from the federal standpoint or from a state standpoint. I don't have a lot of history with the politics. I just don't remember a lot of it in the local politics, and so it's definitely an interesting aspect.
And there's definitely, as you mentioned, this polarization. But as you were saying, usually this happens at a more elevated level, like say a congressional seat or say the U.S. Senate. So it is rare to see it at this municipal level. But once again, it underscores the intensity of this race and how much people are willing to do in order to get elected. But no, to your point, we want everyone to feel welcome to throw their hat in the ring. And sometimes if you see your candidate, your opponent, and they have this tremendous war chest, it can be very intimidating. And I can see someone saying, I'd rather not try. So that's the downside of it, because it should be a level playing field.
And that's exactly where I was going to go. The idea of a level playing field, one of the things I think is so important this year was the forums. And I thank everyone for participating in the forums that not only UMA did, but the collaborations we did with GMAC, the Chinese Culture Connection, and this youth group helped by this woman at Alexandria. Unfortunately, I wish I could remember her name. But I think that service that we help provide is a one way to give every candidate a chance to get their voice heard, because it doesn't cost anything. That's one of the services we provide as a resource. And let's talk about the forums and how you felt that they went.
I think it was absolutely incredible to have so many forums and to give so many opportunities to different candidates. I think the wide range of questions from the social justice side to the municipal questions, I think was great for all candidates, or for all the residents to listen to.
And that's pretty much why we do it. It's for the residents. It's for the citizens to hopefully get them engaged and hear from the candidates. Because I think one of the things that we want to be able to do is, when they do get in office, you got to hold them accountable to the words they said.
Right.
And that's one of the great things about forums. Your take on that?
Well, once again, this kind of adds to that transparency and getting the citizens of Malden, giving them a kind of foothold into how the legislative process works, how their vote will affect them later on. Because once again, if there is a disconnect and people feel as though that they can't speak to the candidates, it can foster apathy. And so they say, I don't care, my vote doesn't count. But by having these forums and inviting people in and them asking questions, it helps to just promote just better competition.
Yep. And let's talk about the forums, because out of the forums, I think, came some interesting issues. I think the issues were there. The forums helped bring them out. What do you think, in terms of our city right now, the biggest issue was, and how did the candidates respond?
Biggest issues, I think number one is just COVID, getting out of COVID and getting everything through, getting everybody safe. I think just issues with, seems like housing is always an issue that comes up, and they're trying to fix that. Inclusionary zoning has been passed, and they put up a group together. They got with the mayor, housing trust.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on in that respect. So that's a big positive.
Sharon, in terms of issues?
Well, just to kind of piggyback onto what you said, housing is a big issue. For most people, housing can consume over a third of one's monthly income. And to have this kind of segment where it is affordable housing is a big issue, especially among seniors. So as you know, I teach a lot of senior exercise, and I hear all the stories about how people are just up in arms about getting placed into government senior housing. The wait list can be 10 years long. 10 years. And so housing is a big issue. And once again, to have candidates that will address these very real issues of their constituents.
Yeah, and the other issue I thought did get discussed, and it was interesting, some of the candidates walk in the middle line, so to speak, and that has to do with the charter school and the effects of Maplewood Square. How do you think the candidates responded to that issue?
I think the people that are against the charter school came out and went against it, and they did everything they could to help the neighborhood and to do what they thought was right. I think people pushed where they had to push. I think it's possible that I'd like to see them build up, do what they have to do, but then also build up the square. And there's no reason why we can't ask them to put the storefronts along Lebanon Street, and then keep the street, the schools in the back. I think it could be. There's chances. If they can just get some discussion, I think they can get something that everybody can work with.
And I think that one of the other issues I think was probably kind of they got pushback from is all of a sudden making this announcement. It didn't seem it was kind of shocking to a lot of people, and I felt like maybe the resolution for this is that get back to that discussion that needs to happen, because there's one side that says, well, they have the right to do it in terms of there's nothing, I don't think legally, if you've got the money you can buy things. I think the issue is how do you work with your partner, being the city, being your neighbors, being the people who live there. I think that's the issue to me, not so much that the charter school is doing it, but how it's done. And that's what I heard on the campaign trail was mostly let's keep that discussion going, and hopefully it will. I mean, again, new faces coming on the council. It'll be interesting to see where they take it. Sharon, any thoughts?
Well, it does in terms of the charter school. I think a lot of the issue is that people want equity. People want to feel as though that they matter. And so for someone to say, this is what we're going to do without their input is very upsetting. And so, hopefully reflective in this new city council, we have a mix of people who can address all the different demographics in our city and not just have it, like all old guard or all progressive, but a mix to reflect the changing face of Malden, because Malden is changing. The demographics, everything, J. Malden, everything is building up. We have a lot of new developments. We have our Starbucks is open. We never had that before, which is really exciting. And so we have a lot of new faces coming in here, and our city council has to reflect that. And that's why this election is so important.
Yeah. It's interesting. One of the things that I would like to say is there were two big openings, not only Starbucks, but next door Cafe B, which has been 6 years in the making.
Yeah.
It's great to see them finally open. They're right next door to UMA. But they're a small little Chinese bakery, and we wish them well. But they just took a long time to get off the ground. But it's good
I
to
highly
see.
recommend their birthday cakes.
There you go. I heard,
Absolutely
heard the
incredible.
pastries are fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. One of the issues I think was a prominent thing is the business itself, the business downtown Malden Square, that transition to where it was and where it is today. How much do you think that played in this year's campaign?
I don't know how much it played. It's been a great transition. I remember the squares from the '80s, and it was just down and dirty, and everything's really shifting in the right direction. It's still got to fill out a little bit more, but I think a lot of those places that you're talking about is just really. I think people are excited for them to be here.
And also, I was going to mention, a few weeks ago, I believe, Mayor Christensen and his administration awarded $10,000. I think there were 10 $10,000 grants to small businesses. This was part of the American Rescue Plan under the Biden administration. And so Malden, is really trying, Mayor Christian is really trying to help rebuild these small businesses in light of COVID that were hit so badly during this whole pandemic.
One of the things that came out, Markey came here during that time a few months ago, before the summer, and we interviewed the owner of the cornucopia, as well as the Chad over at Bodeborg, and they were two of the people that got that funding.
Yes.
And so Ed got to, they got to thank Ed, representing, the state at level and the federal level, obviously, and it was great to see because how much appreciation these business owners had, and that's why I was also happy this year that Omer, formerly METV, was involved in the Taste of Malden to help support all these restaurants that were essentially closed and was just starting to open up, and usually the Taste of Malden is going to all these restaurants. So essentially what we did was we went to each restaurant that was part of the program, interviewed the owners, and promoted people to come down and do takeout. And they appreciated that so much. It was probably one of the best things of what collaboration is all about. The businesses, UMA, Chamber of Commerce, all working together to support a group of businessmen and women who had a hard time through COVID. And a lot of these restaurants, I think, were saved by a lot of that takeout that people did. I know for a fact, Serena's in Maplewood Square, the local people that were customers, regular customers, made a concerted effort to buy more during the COVID months, and that's why they're still there. I just hope that they get a building to still be in.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're great.
Great
food.
restaurant, one of my favorites. All right, let's take another look at. Again, it's all 8:15 around, and we haven't got any returns yet, but we're hoping to get some calls soon. So hopefully you're going to stick with us. In the meantime, we're going to go back to the polling places, and thanks to Cameron, we're going to take another look. All right, here we are again, another ward. This time it's Ward 6, and guess who's here, ladies and gentlemen? One of the people running for city councilor, Jerry Leone. Jerry, how you doing?
Hi, Malden. Hi, Uma. MATV. How are you?
So, Jerry, tell us about the election. How's it going? And it's winding down. How do you think it went?
I feel really good. I'm getting a good vibe from the people who have voted so far. I've been at this spot since I started at 6:45, and I'm bouncing back and forth to the new polling station out at 787 Salem Street. So we'll see. The difference between this election versus the other ones, I think the time's flying by today.
Yeah, and the weather's helping out somewhat.
Hopefully it doesn't rain, yeah.
So in terms of the returns, what are you looking for tonight in terms of, obviously, the numbers?
Well, I don't know, because right now we're going to get the rush between 4 and 8, but I'm hoping I can get as many votes as possible. Number-wise, I'm not sure, because it's been since 2017 that I ran at large for this specific position. 2 years ago, I ran at large, so that was a completely different game. So I'm hoping past 500 total, or maybe 600. Yeah.
And how do you think the turnout's going to be in terms of the turnout? It's always a challenge for the Maldonians.
It is. This is an open seat. Everyone's predicting that this will be a low turnout. I hope it doesn't. I hope we can change that. I mean, every ward is being contested except for Ward 2, but depends. I periodically go in to see what the turnout is. I haven't been in a couple hours, but the last turnout was, I think, 210.
And how's that compared to last time, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, we had a mayoral race, so it would have been higher at the time. So we'll see. Again, there's 3 different shifts. There's 7 to 9 for the morning rush, 11 to 1 for the afternoon. But everyone's coming home from work, so 4 to 8, you're going to see the big rush, and hopefully my supporters turn out.
Anything you want to say to the voters watching in right now?
Thank you for all your support. Remember to vote 787 Salem Street for people at 6-1 and 6-2 right here at 630 Salem Street. And thank you, and just a big thank you, and vote for Leone.
All right, Jerry, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, we got another candidate just happened to be dropping by here, ladies and gentlemen. What a surprise.
Hi, how are you, Ron?
Roberto DeMarco, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Well, we're going out and seeing how the polls are doing.
How do you think they're doing?
I'm thinking the turnout's kind of short right now.
Well, it's still early. There's a lot of people still at work. I think that we'll end up with a much larger voter turnout come 5 o'clock. We'll start to see the numbers climb. I have a feeling this is going to be a really good, well-attended election. I'm hoping for us breaking 30%, but we'll see.
Now, you're running for at large, obviously, so you're going around visiting all the polling places. What's your favorite polling place?
Oh, you know, here's the thing. I live in 5, and I was born in 2. I got a business in 4, and I got friends in all the rest. So I'm not making a choice.
Of course not. There you go. It's touching all bases, ladies and gentlemen. So in terms of the forums, how do you think the forums were this year? In terms of not only just your forum, but the awards and all of the ones that even CCD did, and GMAC, and the youth?
I really enjoyed them. I thought they were a great opportunity to get down to some real discussion of issues. I think that as a city, we need to have more of that. One of the things that I believe is lacking is a sincere discussion about what we all think. There's a lot of literature, there's a lot of bylines, there's a lot of mottos. None of that really digs down. And I'm somebody who likes data. So I want to sit down, I want to crash through the budget with the other candidates. I want to ask them what they think. I want us to talk about real numbers. I want us to discuss what the priorities of our city should be. I want to go ward by ward and discuss what needs to get done. We need priority lists. We need to create our real wish lists. We've got a lot of money coming in with the COVID relief fund, and we don't know yet. I apologize. We'll be. I like having a beard. He needs to shave more than I do.
So getting back to, it sounds like you're looking for town meetings during the year.
I think that town meetings are a great opportunity for people to get down to issues. I think that when you bring people together and discuss facts and not just dreams, then we really know where we're headed. You know, like I said earlier, I'm somebody who likes to dig down into details. As a lawyer, it's all about, you got to have evidence to back up your thoughts. And for me, that means that we as candidates need to dig down. As a city council, if I'm so blessed as to be elected today, then I'm going to want to see the data. I don't make decisions based upon hearsay. I make decisions when I see facts and figures, and that's where I'm going to be headed.
All right. Well, we will wish you luck, Roberto, and thanks again for talking with us.
Oh,
and
thanks.
We'll see you tonight.
You did a great job, Uma. Really great job. I appreciate it.
Anything you want to say to the voters?
Get out to vote. This is your city. This is your election. I hope that we'll see more of you out at the polls, and you can't make change unless you engage.
Oh, that's a good comment. You can't make change unless you engage. I want to thank Roberto for that. And we're back, and still no word of any races yet, and we're hoping for anybody to call in if you know what's going on. But my feeling is a lot of people were out there today, and I think what some of the candidates had already said, that towards after work, a lot of people vote then, and usually the numbers go up, and I'm curious to see if that does happen. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is you know, the effects of the new formats, the new things, Facebook and social media, and how that affected. One of the things that I think was prominent in this election was the use of Facebook and some of the negativities. And as we all know, one of the issues about Facebook is that anonymity. Nobody knows who's saying it sometimes. It just gets thrown out there. How do you think that affected the race this year?
I think it was. I think they used it as a tool, and so I think for the most part, I think it was a lot better than it was 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago, I think we saw a lot of that, and maybe some of them stepped back, or it's one of the tools in the. It's one of your quivers in your bow. It's one of to go from there.
So you think it's a tool, and if it gets misused, it's not the tool; it's the person misusing it.
Right. It's people just are allowed to say a lot of things that I don't think that they would say in real life or in the meeting, and so that's the unfortunate part.
It is. Sharon, your thoughts on that?
Well, again, with the pandemic, there was a definite shift. We were all inside for the most part. Everything shifted to social media platforms, and it will probably continue. And again, where people can go on like YouTube, Facebook, and you can be anonymous, you control, and that's just part of it. But having a social media platform, again, makes the election process and just makes it more accessible. Anyone can do it. So you can have someone who's homebound. They can just sit at their computer and have access to everything. Yeah. So it definitely has positive, and it does have negatives, but so does anything, right? So it's just something that we have to deal with moving forward.
One of the other things that I think affected the election, and I hear this from candidates, especially Craig Spatafora, obviously because of Zoom, all the forums were on Zoom. It was a Zoom affair. Believe me, it was the easiest thing to do. We didn't have to worry about sets, so it was convenient for us. But like Craig said, he's a people person, and he likes going up and meeting the people one-on-one. And he's again that kind of old school kind of thinking. It was challenging for candidates like that like that hands-on, shaking hands, and so this election was I don't know what would you call it. It was some candidates were hampered by it, and had to overcome that. How do you think?
Yeah, I think his comment that I remember was that you just feel the crowd, and so I think that's a separate way of doing things. I don't know if I think the amount of forms that we got were really helpful for us, and so if it's the difference of getting all the forms and they have to be on Zoom versus in person, then I think the more the merrier.
I will say Craig did finally get that down towards the end. He was pretty efficient with his sound, and it was interesting that early in the end we try to give hints to all the candidates, how to frame your shot. And I think one of the things I really appreciate what Guillermo did is each candidate, before they went on, we worked with them to try to get the best shot, good audio, good sound, and kind of cue them up before it began. So it was a challenge for all candidates, but like you say, that we had the forums was probably the most important part. And I'm very grateful for my staff that helped put it all together, and for the collaborations we made in the community to make those happen. Your thoughts on?
Well, hopefully in the future we'll have a balance. We'll have Zoom meetings and Zoom forums and also in person. So ultimately it would be great to have a nice mesh of the two so that we have people who maybe thrive better one-on-one, and then there may be other candidates that do better via Zoom. So, but once again, not to have it skewed either way, but to just have a nice balance. I think that would be the ultimate.
Yeah. Well, the set actually is another example. We're so far apart. I feel like, hey, Sharon, how you doing over there? It's like, usually we're a lot closer. So
right.
Due to COVID, we're
social distancing.
Yes. and let's talk about that, because COVID has affected how we do things here.
Yeah.
And we've just started coming back into doing productions like this. And one of the things that's going to be difficult is people's sense of being secure and so that they're not affected and are feeling safe. So slowly this is happening, and it's great to see. But I think that process, as people get vaccinated, especially as people get boosted up, I guess that we're going to call it. I've yet to get my booster. I'm next. But the fact of the matter is, I'm hoping, the next few months are probably going to determine as we go into the winter months, and that's what happened. We went into winter months and it scooped up, and we're hoping that doesn't happen because we're ready to go, folks. UMA has not only a new name, but a focus to really get engaged with the community, and we encourage you to come on down to UMA, Urban Media Arts, and really see how you can take part in using the resources we have. That's what I love about Prisco. You start out with this little camera, and then even your phone at times, and we have a great journalism program, and my feeling is one of the things that is very important for local journalism to exist. We don't have a paper like we used to. Malden Advocate, they try, but it's an Everett paper really. So we want the local news coming from the people who live here and have those discussions happening. So one of the things that we have is Neighborhood View, and we look upon that as a chance for citizens to get involved, learn how to become a journalist, because there are certain things you got to know about what a journalist does and is about. And we are now building that core of reporters, so to speak, in this community, and we're very grateful for the people who do get involved, because that's how the stories are going to get told.
And if I might add, one of the people who actually started on cable access is Barack Obama. He started at Somerville Community Access when he was at Harvard Law. So I think he did pretty well. So I think Access TV and all that it offers supported Barack Obama. So I said I think it stands in good stead. So and the education that you get from the journalism courses here. production is really great, and it's just wonderful. A lot of people have had their start in Access, including Nick Cannon. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Nick Cannon started on
incredible.
Access TV as well.
So think about out there if you're thinking of getting involved. We can use more people down here
Come on down
to get involved. All right, I think we got another clip to show from our visit to the various polling places. Still waiting for some returns to come in. Hopefully we'll have some of those back when we come back after seeing some more footage for the polling booths in 2021. All right, here we are at Ward 5, continuing our look at all the polling places here in Malden and just what's happening down here. And we just happen to be at Salem School, and we see Brian DeLacy. Let's go check him out. Here we are with Brian DeLacy, Council Lodge candidate. How you doing, Brian?
Good, Mr. Cox. How are you?
I'm doing great.
This is a great night, isn't it? A great day for Malden.
Yep.
So it's thanks for coming out and visiting us. This is great.
Tell us a little bit. You got a lot of campaign workers here. Tell us what the campaign's been like for you.
It's been great meeting people and getting around to every corner of the city and streets we'd never been to before, and but streets we'll go back to for sure. So yeah, the volunteers, people have really helped out.
So in terms of the campaign itself, what do you think was your high point of the campaign?
Ooh, the high point. I mean, the high point was it's just gotten better as time has gone on, to be honest with you. There's always that moment of uncertainty when you start, and it just became more positive as time went on. But it's really the people you meet, you know, and well, I wouldn't give that up for anything. So the outcome, in some sense, it doesn't matter. The voters get what the voters want, and that's what really matters. Yeah.
And this kind of thing, yeah. The community's talking back to you.
Community spirit, it really is. So, yeah, this is a great place to be, and we're moving west now. We went east in the morning, and we're heading back to the west side.
And so tonight we're doing live at 7:30. So if you want to come on by and talk to the voters, in fact, if you don't, here's a good time to talk to the voters and say anything you want to say.
I'll see you at 6:30, you know, downtown.
Okay,
so
great.
thanks very
Looking
much.
forward to you, Brian. Take care. Hey, any campaign workers want to say hi? How you doing, man?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Fine. Anybody else want to say something? What's it like? What's your technique holding the sign?
Oh, you have to hold it so that the wind doesn't blow it over.
That's the
So
secret?
That's it, yeah. And you can get to see both sides.
I noticed you got a nice pole, too.
I know, look at that, yeah. Some,
The secrets of holding a pole.
well, they're not as cold either,
there you
right?
go.
Yeah, and they last, right?
right.
You can pass them on.
Fantastic. Well, I see some other people over here. Let's check out these posters over here. Well, I think you guys seem to be for Ari Taylor. Any relation?
I'm her daughter.
And what about you?
Family friend.
Family friend. And you want to get up and say anything?
Sure.
It's not easy holding a pole sign, is it?
No, not at all. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, if we're being honest.
Yes. So let's talk about your candidate. Anything you want to say about your candidate?
My mom is the most incredible candidate. She will do whatever she can to make Malden a better city.
So is this your first campaign working on for a candidate?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I've done stuff around Malden for a long time, being part of Girl Scouts. I've helped out at a lot of events and stuff. But this is my first time being like really active in a specific candidate's campaign, so yeah.
So everything is going for me.
I think we have a really good chance of winning.
All right. And who's this down here?
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
And who are you voting for?
My mother.
Wait a minute. You can't vote. What? If you could vote, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you all very much. And how do you think the weather's been for doing this?
It's a little chilly, but nothing we can't stand.
That's great. Well, thank you all for doing it. It's always good to support your candidate. Well, thank you very much. All right, looks like we're going to move on to another ward and stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're back. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have our first announcement for one of the races. And to me, it's a surprise because I thought it would make a better showing, but it looks like Ryan O'Malley has retained his seat at Ward 4. So Jeffrey Donahue, again, I wish him luck in his future, but looks like Jeffrey has been defeated by Ryan O'Malley, who will retain his seat at Ward 4. So congratulations to Ryan O'Malley, and Jeffrey, again, thanks for running, because that's what it's all about, and I appreciate all the work both candidates did. But there you go, our first announcement, Ryan O'Malley retains his seat on the City Council. All right, what do you think of that?
That is a tight race. Ward 4, I think there were two strong opponents, but Ward 4, I think no matter what is a tight race. It's such a low turnout ward. It's whoever gets 300 votes, and that's such a small number when you go for a ward seat. So either way.
And I think in the past, it really has been 5 or 4, 6, 8, 10 votes max.
Yeah.
And like you say, see how many people come out and determine these things. It's amazing. And Jeffrey, I think, put a really good campaign out there. I think Ryan had some money behind him, but Jeffrey was, again, that traditional candidate I was talking about, a neighborhood kind of guy who was in office before, and he talked about how he sat home and watched how the council was going, and he had had enough and decided to run. So I think that was an interesting phenomenon that he went through. Any thoughts on this?
Well, a big congratulations to Ryan O'Malley. I've seen him in action, tremendous passion on city council. He's the one who just steps up and says what he thinks, even if it's not popular. And once again, in city council, we really need that. We need people who have different views to bring in different ideas. But also, big thank you to Jeffrey for just even entering to throw your hat in the ring is a big step. Not many people can do it. It's tough, and kudos to him for doing that.
And the only thing I would add is, I don't know if this is going to be a trend for tonight, but I wanted to kind of look upon this race as, again, I think of Ryan as more of the progressive side of things, and Jeffrey is more of the traditional side of things. And obviously, we don't know the actual count yet and what the distance was, but obviously that might be a sign of things to come. We'll find out. All right, again, I want to thank you for watching, and we're hoping we do get some more returns coming in. We have our base out there with phone calls, and we're waiting for these phone calls to come in, or texts, as some of them might be. And I'm hoping whoever's watching can text us, give us some more results. Let's talk about Ward 1 in that race. Peg Crow, who has been in there for a while, has very really had an opponent. And this year she did. This woman, Nadij Felipe, is new to the campaign, and she's also a nurse, so it's kind of difficult the race that she had.
Yeah, unfortunately, she couldn't make the forum because of her work. It would have been nice to see her in action and just to meet her and see what. But I saw some of her. They shared her literature, which was very neighborhood centric, which I thought was pretty positive.
And we did get to interview her when we went to the polls. So we will meet her tonight if you haven't met her before.
Oh, great.
So I'm glad that you participated in that. Any other thoughts on Ward 1?
Well, unfortunately, with Miss Philippe, her work got in the way of her campaigning, and not to impugn her, of course, but when you're running in a campaign, that's one of the considerations that you must take very seriously. Can I make that time commitment? Because as we see, it's very competitive and it's very serious, and you must be fully engaged if you really want to gain traction. And so that's why, even entering the ring of politics is something that you really must think about and talk with your family, because it's a big commitment.
It is, yeah.
It's a big commitment.
One of the things I did ask her, and you'll see it in a few minutes, is if she lost, she's still going to be engaged. And again, that's a sign of a person who's committed to the community and the efforts of helping change the community. And you don't look upon one race. I remember when I ran for the board of directors here at MATV, I didn't win the first time I ran, and eventually I did win. After running, I think 3 times. Just don't give up. But moving on to Ward 3, you got Glenn Curtis and Amanda Linehan. Glenn, again, is more of that kind of traditional kind of guy, but he came out of the blue in a way. I didn't really know him before. Amanda, of course, is the incumbent, but she's been pretty popular in terms of her position on the council. Let's talk about that. How do you think that race?
Yeah, no, that's going to be an interesting race. That's my ward, and Glenn definitely has gotten his name out. A lot of signs, but we all know that the signs don't vote. So we'll be interesting to see how that happens. It's her first rodeo, and she's been hitting the ground running. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Your thoughts?
And I once again, when I have recorded the city council meetings, Councilman Linehan has been tremendously involved in the voting process, in sort of showing how she feels about different issues. Not afraid to speak up. Very involved. Very committed to serving her constituents. So she's going to be tough to beat. She's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah. And moving on to the next Ward 4, we know the results of that, and again we congratulations go to Ryan O'Malley, and again Jeffrey, hang in there, and hope you come by and share some of your thoughts. Appreciate that. Oh, here's another one. Ward 5, Barbara Murphy. Barbara Murphy, traditional, does very community-oriented person. That fairy thing she does every summer, fantastic. It was her idea. One of the best events of the year. And then, of course, you have Ari Taylor, who is coming out of the blue in a lot of ways. Just happens to be a board member of UMA. But let's talk about that race. Somebody new opposing somebody who's kind of been there for a while.
Yeah, no, that'll definitely be an interesting race. I think Ari's been in the community and doing certain things. I know she was involved with the arts and with UMA. I think that'll be one of the tightest races between that and 8, potentially. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, again, tight race. Councilman Murphy, a tough lady. When she gives her opinion, you know it. She means it. And, and you just say, wow. So she, I guess you could say a member of the old guard, but just really, really staunch, just very dedicated to her position, serving her community. She does a lot of outreach work, in her spare time, and just a lovely, lovely woman. However, Miss Taylor, who is coming up against her in this race, can also bring something if she happens to win this race. But I think what is most important is that whoever wins is going to be committed to Malden. That is what is most important. But Miss Murphy, she's a tough one to beat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And Ari, a newcomer, I think ran a really good race, and certainly has the family out there backing her, which is her husband, and she's got a whole crew of kids. All right, moving on to what I think is the interesting race where Stephen Winslow leaves this at-large seat that he had and went back to his ward, Ward 6. And Jerry Leone, who, was he on the school committee one time?
He was on school committee. He has a lot of history in 6,
yeah.
Yes.
So he's well-known in Ward 6, and then you kind of have Steve coming back to Ward 6. Your thoughts on this race?
Yeah, that was interesting, especially with Councilor Winslow being an at-large. It's a tough position to get into. When he went in, I think it was 15. It wasn't. It was beat out Councilor D'Arcangelo, and so it's surprising to step down from an at-large, representing the whole city. But it sounded like he wanted to focus on Ward 6. He was doing a lot of work in Ward 6, and so he went in that direction. Jerry Leone has that history with the school committee, ran a couple of times city council, I believe, as well. So both names in Ward 6, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, because that is interesting. Your thoughts, too?
Well, I've had the privilege of speaking to Mr. Winslow and his lovely wife. He is very committed to his constituents. I mean, very much so. I'm not surprised that he decided to step back. He really wants to have traction with his constituents. And little known fact, his family came over on the Mayflower, but you didn't hear that from me. So he has a very, very special link to our community. His family goes way back. He is committed to Malden. And even though it may seem a step back to us, maybe not so much to him. He's doing what he loves, and that's what's most important. And Mr. Leone, I've had the privilege of seeing him in action on the school committee. He also, once again, tremendous passion for what he does. So whoever wins, it's a win for Malden.
There you go. All right, and the final race up for grabs for wards is Ward 6, and here you have Chris Simonelli.
Ward 7, yes.
Did I say Ward 7? Oh, Ward 7, I'm sorry, Ward 7. I meant Ward 7, I got misprint here. And Chris is not a newcomer. He's been around for a while. He kind of took a step back, and now he's back. And because Michelle on the school committee
Currently.
currently decided that, hey, the ward race is open, and she took a chance, and here she is running against Chris. So I guess the question is, her work done on the school committee, how much is that going to transfer into the city council race and give her a chance to win? And how much is Chris's connection to his neighborhood, pretty much, and we saw it in at the roll-in we did, how that's going to help him. Thoughts on this race?
Yeah, being on the school committee, just having your name on the ballot, the last ballot, I think is a big deal. But then again, it depends on how the neighborhood has shifted and how many people remember Simonelli's name, however many years ago that he was councilman. And I think he was on for maybe a decade, so it was a pretty long time. We actually got unofficial results that Simonelli won, so we'll see how that.
Okay, well, let's make another call. Where's the music? All right, we're going to make this call. For those who are watching, we're going to give the race. Is that oh, it's over. We got just like the word we got is Chris Simonelli has come out from wherever he was, and now looks like he's won the race. So again, congratulations to Chris Simonelli. And also we wish Michelle Long well, because she's still in the school committee, and hopefully she's going to still be engaged, which I'm sure she is. But I think it's going to be a tough loss for her, because I think she's really put her heart and soul into this race. And as a community, we do appreciate that, and hope she sticks around and stays involved. But looks like Chris and his crew put the work together and won. So congratulations, Chris. All right, I think hopefully we're going to go get some more results, but we're going to go to another roll-in and take another look at, I don't know if this is the last one, but might be the next to last one. Another look at down at the polling places today, November 2nd, 2021. We're continuing our tour of the precincts and wards here in Malden for election 2021, and here we are in Ward 1. And, we got some spirited people out here, ladies and gentlemen. Who's this?
Erica Israelson, Ferryway teacher.
And who are you supporting?
Craig Spadafora and Peg Crow. Come on down and vote.
So what's it been like out here holding the signs and everything?
Awesome. Everyone's been very friendly, as always. Everyone's very excited, waiting to see who's going to win. A lot of people are running this year, more than ever before, I feel like. Exactly. So hopefully we will have some of the people that we want to win. Craig Spadafora, Peg Crow.
And who's this fellow right here beside you? Is this Mosca?
This is Dilly Dilly.
Dilly Dilly. Who you vote for, Dilly Dilly?
Dilly says Craig and Peg.
There you go. He's all excited, I can tell him. So, ladies and gentlemen, Peg Crow just happens to be over here. Let's go see what she's doing here. Peg, what's happening?
Nothing. Welcome to Election Day, 2001. 21.
2021, same thing. And so what's it been like for the campaign for you?
It's been good. I think there's been a lot of excitement just in the whole city, and it's been great. I think with so many, the past 2 years with the COVID, you really couldn't connect with people, so you talk to people on the phone or through email. So it was really great to get back out there and be able to kind of talk to people face to face and have actual real conversations.
So a couple of forums, your opponent never really came out. So what was that? What did they think of that?
Well, people have different things, priorities, and things that in life that that you either couldn't avoid or didn't, or whatever it is. So I was just glad that I could be there, and I again I appreciate talking to our constituents. The city of Malden been very active for many years, in many ways in Malden. So it's great to be able to serve, and I hope to continue to serve.
And what's your secret to getting your posters out here?
Food. I bring food and music. No, the pizza came from Craig Spadafora, but I brought sandwiches now. We had coffee in the morning, so you have to have make it a festive excitement even out here. Wow. And it's been a beautiful day, but we've done this in the rain and the snow and everything else. So great day to be out here.
Peg, thank you so much. Before we go there, I want you to look at that camera and tell me what you want to say to the voters.
Vote Crow.
Thank you, Peg. Appreciate it.
out there and vote.
Oh, we got a poster over here. This guy looks familiar. Let me just say hello to you. How you doing, sir?
Good. Jeff Christensen, the mayor's father.
I know. So,
I'm here.
and you're supporting these candidates?
Yeah, of course. He's been a friend of our family's forever, and so is Peg.
That's great.
She even does Christmas Eve with us. So, you know, we're real close.
And this is the ward the mayor lives in.
Yes, he lives right. Yeah, he lives
I know.
right up the street.
Right
In
up the
fact,
street.
when I look out my upstairs window, I can see his place.
No looking in. Well, listen, great to talk to you. And what was your secret about holding the sign? You turn it around, you twist it, what do you do?
Trying to keep it from falling on my head.
All right. Well, hopefully it's so successful. Keep it going. Thanks a lot for talking with us, sir. All right. We got, let's see, some people over there. I think that could be the opposing candidate. Let's check it out. All right. We're still in Ward 1, and we have the opposing candidate over here, Nate Edge. Say hello, Nate Edge.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out and vote. And if you haven't been down here, please come out and vote.
Now, this is your first time in a campaign. What's that been like?
Interesting. It's been fun as well. Yes.
What have been some of the obstacles?
So far I haven't gotten any. So it's been really fun.
So we're talking to the voters right now. What would you say to all the voters?
We need a change in Malden, and also in order for us to get that change, you guys have to come and vote. We need to come and vote. We need to support. I know a lot of you guys work and you guys are tired. It only take 5-10 minutes. Just come out and support us, please.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and good luck tonight. You guys want to say have anything to the? Yeah, get some enthusiasm going. Yeah. Thank you all for turning out. Thank you. Good luck tonight. UMA, Urban Media Arts, used to be called MATV.
Oh, when did it switch from MATV?
Last year.
Oh, really?
You guys want to talk on camera?
Yeah, sure.
Because we didn't get a hold of Michelle. So here we got some campaign posters for Michelle Luong. Your name, sir.
Hello, my name is Kyle Rufo.
And what brings you out today?
I am a supporter for Michelle Luong for Ward 7.
All right. Now, in Ward 1, you just, how does that work?
Well, you can also vote here for Ward 7 as well.
Oh,
So there's
that
two
explains.
There's down there, and then there's right here.
Great. So this serves two wards.
Yes,
to
it
vote.
does. Yes.
Fantastic. I did not know that. You taught me something.
I don't think a lot of people do. Yeah.
Thank you. And who's this beside you?
I'm Caitlin Rufo.
And are you a supporter of any candidate here?
I'm a supporter of Michelle Luong.
Yeah, show the sign.
Yeah, there she goes.
It's taller than her.
So who do you think holds the sign better, you or your friend here?
I think I do.
Well, thank you for talking with us. Good luck today. Take care. All right, let's see what else is out here. Hey, somebody from John Matheson. Look at this. What's your name, sir?
Steve.
And obviously you're supporting Matheson?
Yes, I am. John's been a real good neighbor to me, and he's been a real good friend, and he takes care of the people because the people come first.
Yeah, so that's great. So is this your first time to be in a pollster?
Oh no, I've done it for years.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your technique?
I'm a plumber.
Plumber. No, I mean technique in terms of holding the sign.
Just give it a little wave here and there, you know, like that. Just go.
There you
wave
go.
to people, you know.
Yeah, you got it down.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm used to it.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Yes,
Good luck
have a
tonight.
great day. Be safe.
Take care. You too. All right, let me do one more transition. Okay, we're winding down here, and let's go check out a few more polling places, and then we'll be done for the night. All right, we're back. And we have another announcement to make for Ward 8. And again, our congratulations go to Janine Sika. Looks like she's retaining her seat. And let's hear for her, yep.
Yeah.
And Nate Capel, I got to tell you, what a terrific effort he put in, newcomer, and gave it his all. And we want to wish him well in terms of hopefully he stays engaged. But again, Janine is the incumbent, and looks like she put up the good fight. So your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, that was an interesting race. He definitely raised a lot of money, and he had armies out there knocking on the weekends, seeing them in Ward 8. So new face, and we'll see if he hangs around.
And also, as you mentioned, it's his first election, right? there's going to be plenty more. So this is just like, don't give up. Don't give up. Jadine has been on the council for a very long time. She does a great job. She was president of city council. She was wonderful. But that's the whole spirit of democracy. There's always going to be another election. So for those candidates that maybe weren't successful this time, that's okay. Learn from it, regroup, and try again.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. Well, we do have some word, again, not results, but we see some trends happening on the Council at Large race, and a couple of surprises. Karen Colon Hayes looks like she's doing really good. We've heard from Kerry McDonald, who's doing much better than expected, and looks like he's leading in the mix here. We haven't heard yet from Craig or John or Roberto or Brian. So that's what we've got so far. And again, it's the top three. That's all they have to get is the top three.
Wow.
What I think the other interesting thing is going to be, and I think Debbie Di Maria has started this, is by who gets the most votes of all the candidates. And Debbie was always good at that. She always seemed to get most of the votes. Any guesses who that's going to be this time?
Oh, it's going to be a tough one, especially with those six. I mean, it sounds like from what they're saying on Facebook that Carrie and Cologne Hayes, Karen got both in. So that'll be interesting to see what the third at-large comes in. You have to assume it's the incumbent. That's the norm, but you never know.
So Craig, again, if Craig has any info, we'd love to have you call. But my feeling is it is who's going to get the third seat here. And let's talk about John Matheson for a little bit. Now, here's someone who ran for mayor, actually ran for state rep at one time, ran for mayor. Obviously, he was Ward 3 councilor.
Ward 3 for a long time. I think councilor at large before that for a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting, I think he got the councilor at large, if I remember, because someone left. And I think he got the seat because he came in second.
Yes, that's what I read in the papers.
Right. But again, one of the questions always has been is do people run for the city council at large as a stepping stone? And we got a couple of candidates that might be the case. And any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to downplay someone running simply because they have aspirations of elevating. It's about whether or not they engage in whatever position they are aspiring to at the time. So the one thing about John Matheson that I find is really great is that he doesn't give up. And we need people like that to keep incumbents on their toes. You need people who just want to just throw their hat in the ring and just go for it. Whether or not they win, there's always another day. But it is something that, to think about. There are people who wish to elevate and they start at lower levels. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that as long as they are committed to serving their constituents at these lower municipal levels.
And that's the other thing. Every candidate has to run for re-election. Yeah, as soon as they win, if they're not incumbent and they win like Kerry, this would be quite a scoop for him. Again, a newcomer to the efforts of running for office, and it'd be interesting to see where he goes. The first time out, potentially winning. Again, no final law numbers are in, but what a coup for him in a way. To come out of nowhere and get on the city council at large.
Yeah, absolutely, especially from out of with the two blank seats. But to the point, I mean, when you have the well-oiled machine that runs that, it's almost expected. So congratulations to him.
So here we are waiting to see who might be that third person. Again, I wish we had more numbers, but it takes a lot of effort to get these people out to the polls for us to get these numbers. And one of the things before Greg Lucy became city clerk, he was our guy. Let the secret be known. And now that he's city clerk, he can't do that. It'd be unethical. So do miss you, Greg, if you were still
he could
out
always
there.
get those numbers in quickly. Remember,
Yeah,
he could. I don't know how.
I know. But Craig, you're the other guy. I'll take the phone call if you have it. All right, well, let's hopefully got more people coming down. I heard that Carrie was on his way down, so I hope you make it down here, Carrie. I'd love to have you come down and talk to the audience. All right, we've got, I think, one more clip. We're going to take one more last look at the polling places. I think we ended up in Ward 3. Let's find out. We're winding down. We're now in Ward 3, ladies and gentlemen, and we just happen to be bumping into Glenn Curtis. Glenn, how you doing?
Doing great.
So what's it been like on the campaign?
A lot of work. You don't realize how much work everyone puts into this, but there's a lot of work, and just not from me, just from everybody volunteering. So you got to thank everyone putting their free time, donating everything. A lot of work, but hopefully it'll be worth it.
So this is your first time on the campaign trail. What's that been like in terms of being new for you?
It's been pretty humbling, getting out there. I've always been out because, of my job, we're always in a new neighborhood, but, getting to meet new people and, actually getting to talk to them, it's been really nice. So wish we can get it to go back to the way it used to be, where everybody knew their neighbor and everybody knew everyone. Hopefully we can bring it back to that.
And now, as the winds down, you get a chance to talk to the voters, and anything you want to say, look right into that camera and let them know what you think.
You can't complain if you don't vote. So whether you like me or you like my opponent, get out, vote, and just do due diligence. And good luck to everybody.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Drop by the studio.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's hear about the campaign supporters here. What do you guys say? Anything? Woo! Anybody? Let's talk about it. What brings you out?
Glenn is my nephew.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Yeah, that will do it. Yeah, definitely.
And how about you, sir?
Glenn's my friend. He's a hard worker. So I think he's going to do the same for Malden when he's elected.
All right. And here we have somebody for John Matheson as well.
Of course. We need John in on city council at large. And Glenn, we need a change for Ward 3.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. All right, everybody, well, let's show you signs and how you hold them. Let's see some twirling. Woo! All right. Come on down. We're going to say hi. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Now, obviously, you're campaigning for a few people here.
Yeah, so I'm campaigning for Karen Cologne Hayes for Councilor at Large, who is my lovely mother. Carrie McDonald, also for Councilor at Large, an amazing candidate. And Amanda Linehan, here for Ward 3 City Council.
All right. Now, did you get out and vote yet?
I did. I actually did early voting. So I went in and voted on Tuesday at the city clerk's office.
So what's it like? Yeah. So what's it like holding signs and being out here? Because it's a lot of work. People don't know.
So it's a little chilly today. Usually when the sun was out, it was much more fun. But today, a lot of good people are coming by, just making conversation, making sure people know that it's important to vote, no matter who they're voting for, and just congratulating people as they go by.
All right. Did you do anything on the campaign?
I didn't do a lot on this campaign, actually. I supported my mom by attending her events, but I recently got a full-time job, so I've been doing a lot more work on my own job.
Well, it's great seeing you. I'm glad to see you out here working. Take care. All right, anybody else want to talk? Hey, how you doing? You for Carrie too, huh?
I'm for Carrie and Karen and Amanda Linehan. Absolutely, yes.
Are there any of them around here?
Amanda's right over there.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Oh, look,
yes.
Well,
yes.
thank you for talking to us.
Thanks for stopping by.
right.
Everybody go vote.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Tell us who you voting for here.
I'm all for Amanda Linehan, who's standing right next to me.
Get right over there.
And Carrie McDonald, who actually I work with him. He's terrific. And Karen Cologne Hayes.
All right. Any special technique in holding these signs?
It's cold and it's difficult, but we're doing it.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we got Amanda right over here. Amanda, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
We're doing great. How you holding up?
I'm doing awesome. Awesome. Got a great crowd out here today. Good turnout so far. It's been really fun and exciting.
So, on the campaign trail, we're asking to everybody, what in terms of the campaign, what stuck out in your mind most about the campaign?
I think people are really excited about all the new candidates, which is awesome. As the only new candidate last time, I thought I was kind of blazing that trail, and now it's pretty amazing to see so many people throwing their hat in the ring. In terms of constituent issues, just the basics, like the paving, the trash, quality of life, stuff like that.
So we've been asking also candidates to look into that camera and talk right to the voters. Anything you want to say to the voters?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for believing in me. I think we got a lot done this first term together. I would be so honored to have your vote again, and I can't wait to have our victory party tonight at Pearl Street Station. Come on down.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
See what we got here. How you doing? Good, how are you? How are you? You mind if we come over and say hi? How you doing? What brings you out today?
This election is exciting.
There's a lot happening. It's a long day, but we are here. I'm here for Roberto DeMarco, running for City Councilor at Large. I'm his wife, MT Davila. So exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what's it been like having a husband run for office?
We have very lengthy conversations about what's best for Malden, what do people need, what is he hearing out there, but also what are other cities doing that works for them, what are other cities doing that can't be replicated here, so what are our answers to problems, so finding unique answers to Malden problems that will fit our residents and our landscape and the age of the city and the age of some of our infrastructure. So some of that, a lot of conversations.
That's great. Well, thank you. Good luck tonight. And by the way, we did talk to Roberto.
Thank you, Uma. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you covering this exciting day.
Thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, everybody wave. Everybody wave. Wave. Here we go. All right, we're still in Ward 3, and just happened to be walking by, and who do we see but John Matheson, running for City Council at Large. John, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Ron. Thanks for coming on down.
Appreciate it. Winding down. How are you feeling?
Tired. It's another great election year, and we're having some pretty good turnout in Ward 3, which, as you know, is one of the highest voter turnout wards. And both precincts meet right here at the BB School, and you can see from all the signs, very politically active.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be a part of it, glad to be back into Malden politics.
And that's what I was going to say. You took a break for a while, now you're back. How's that feel?
Well, you know, when you run for mayor, you can't hold on to your council seat. You have to relinquish the seat, so your name only appears in one place in the ballot. But I've always been committed to this town. I grew up here, and I love the Malden community. So, yeah, I had to sit down with my family and discuss whether or not this was the right move. And we've all agreed that, you know, Malden needs us, and we need Malden. So, as to how it feels to be back, it feels great. Really does. I mean, all my doubts have been answered, and the warm wishes I'm getting from my neighbors and friends has just been, just feels great. And I just have a real feeling of gratitude, Ron.
Well, welcome back to the political scene, and anything you want to say to the voters before we leave?
No, just God bless you, and if you haven't come out and vote yet, are we live?
We won't be live when they see this.
Okay.
But,
well,
talk as if the election's over. That's the best way to do it.
Well, thank you for your support. Thank you for sticking around in Malden, because there's great things ahead. There's a lot of people who love this community, like Ron Cox right here. And Ron, thank you. That's all I've got. And I'm wishing you the best. You've had a great career here in Malden.
This is actually, might as well just admit it, that this is my last political year doing this. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes next.
God bless you, and you did great work.
Well,
I'm happy with you.
Thank you for the support.
Proud of you.
Support Uma.
All right, I do. I will. All right, folks.
John, thank you.
So much.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Matheson. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Thank you, guys.
God bless.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're going to get back to the studio now and get ready for the show tonight. We're looking forward to the candidates stopping by. We're looking forward to Prisco coming on our panel to talk about the votes, and hopefully we'll be tabulating them and getting them in for tonight at 7:30. And wait for the results. This is the place to be. UMA on the Government Channel. I'm Ron Cox, Executive Director of UMA Urban Media Arts, and back to the studio. And we're back. And again, I want to thank all the posters out there who wave those signs and hold them and dip them and all kinds of things. But we're back in the studio, and we have some final results. Again, these are estimated. The exact numbers are not there, but we are going to call the Council at Large race. Ladies and gentlemen, as we predicted a little earlier, it was leading third place. Welcome to the City Council at Large, Carrie McDonald. Congratulations, Carrie. Appreciate it. Second place, who got the second amount of votes, is Karen Hayes. Welcome to the City Council at Large. And the number one vote getter and the top vote getter of all the candidates, Craig Spadafora, retains his seat, and congratulations to Craig Spadafora. Now again, these are preliminary numbers, but I got Craig as 3,379. Let's see what Karen got. Hold on. Where'd it go? Karen got 3,082, and Carrie McDonald got 2,897.
Wow.
So you're probably wondering who's in fourth place, and that's the thing. The game's so close. Fourth place, it's only 3 seats, but that would be John Matheson, who beat Roberto DeMarco by 70 votes. That's how close that race was for fourth. And coming up in the final end was Brian DeLacy, who was the first person to come here tonight. We appreciate it. And it was a good race for everybody, but only 3 could win. There were 3 seats available, and congratulations to all of those races. So again, we're winding down here, and unfortunately, the one race that we're looking forward to calling is Ward 3, and we haven't gotten anything from that race. And of course, for Ward 5, we haven't got word from them. That's Barbara Murphy against Ari Taylor, and we're still waiting. So Craig, now that you've won, got the most votes, give me a call and let me know what happened to Ward 5. I appreciate it. All right, again, we were hoping to get the things from the city clerk by now, because they said about 9 o'clock, and it's past 9.
Ron, I'm comparing your numbers, and they look like they're very similar to 2017 numbers, which tells you that voter turnout was probably a lot lower than we had hoped.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
maybe it's the mayor's race or the who
Yeah,
knows,
takes another
lack
race
of
at the
lack of
top.
ballot questions,
Yeah.
maybe.
But let's talk about that 6-5 thing you were talking about. What's changed?
It looks like if things stay the same, it looks like the 6-5 split will remain.
That's what I'm thinking.
So the Debbie and Steve Winslow leave on the at-large, and then Carrie and Karen take that place. So looks like with Ryan holding on and Simonelli.
Yeah, it looks like Chris won, which a big
Right,
big,
and
big
so he's
surprise.
same as Anderson, and that
Yep.
looks like it's
So 6-5
remains.
remains. But we'll again see how Carrie impresses me by being open-minded of all the progressives I felt. So it'd be interesting to see. Once you get the seat, it's one thing to run for something, and then it's another thing to you got the thing, you got the seat.
Right.
Now you got to really do the job, and it's not the same as running. So it will be interesting to see how that turns out. But anyway, it's time for final thoughts, and I want to thank, by the way, you guys being on the panel. Why don't we start with you this time, Sharon?
Well, I think that even though we don't have all of the results in, we've got a lot of great dynamic personalities coming to City Council. So it'll be exciting to see this interplay as the year goes on. And so I'm just happy to be here, happy to be from Malden. It was a lot of fun.
Again, thank you, Sharon, for coming by. Briscoe, what do you think?
I was hoping that the turnout was going to be a little bit better, but I think it was a great race. I think the tone was a lot better than 2 years ago, and so I'm glad that it was a little bit more positive. There's always going to be some bickering and quibbling, but on an overall, I think everybody conducted themselves very well.
Well, thank you, Prisco, and thank you both for coming on tonight. And I apologize if we didn't get all the races in, but hopefully by the time I say goodnight, maybe we'll get it. But I will make this announcement that we will post these results on our channel, our community bulletin board. Results will be put on the community bulletin board as we get them, and they won't be the official final results because we have to wait till we get that from the city clerk, Greg Lucy himself. But again, I want to thank you for watching. This was fun. This most likely will be my last time doing this because the next one's in 2 years, and I may not be here in 2 years. Again, thinking of retiring. So it's been a pleasure doing these things. I love politics. People often say, Ron, why don't you run for office? I say, well, no, I make fun of politicians. I don't want to be one.
Yes.
But if I look forward to doing that, that part I will continue. I love the political arena and love that people do spend the time to get engaged.
If you want to stretch this, Carrie's on their way to come talk.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, wait, you know what? I am a talker. We just got word that Carrie is on his way here, and I'll tell you that'd be great if we could stay on till then, because this is a story, folks. A newcomer coming in, first time running for office, running at large, I mean, usually you got to do your ward first. I mean, this is highly irregular, Carrie. We got to talk about it. But a big surprise, and this is going to be interesting to talk about. So hopefully he'll be here soon. So in the meantime, we're going to carry this a little further, the conversation a little further then. Because of the surprise, I think this is what I like about elections.
Yes. So this just, again, underscores anything is possible. So here we have Kerry, never ran before, first time he won. So this just is a testament to him and his team and his passion for Maldonians and serving on city council. And that's why it's important, if you're watching from home and you're thinking about running, do it. Just do it. You know, even if you don't have the funding, just do it. You never know. You never know how things will work out.
We actually have one more rolling, and it's
Oh, we do?
And it's Ward 4, I mean.
Yeah, and that's okay. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, Sharon. We just got word from the control room. We do have one more rolling. I thought we were done with them. But,
one more.
I do want to give every ward a chance to get their posters some FaceTime, ladies and gentlemen. So we got one more rolling, and we're going to go to that, and hopefully Carrie will be here when we come back. All right, here we are at Ward 4, downtown Malden Square. And who do we have here but Jeff? How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
Doing great. And tell us about the campaign. It's winding down.
Oh, what do we have? We have 3 hours and 45 minutes. Hello, ladies. There's the very important ladies from City Hall walking by.
There you go.
The heartbeat of the city. Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been a contentious campaign, to say the least. A lot of things have been said. A lot of things put online. Social media is kind of staring people's thoughts these days.
Let's talk about that. How do you think that format did to the campaign?
I mean, it cuts both ways. You know what I mean? It's good to get your message out, but it's also good to, a lot of people put a lot of false information out there. I saw a flyer go out today from my opponent that he used a picture of someone up the street that clearly has been working on my campaign, and the guy is extremely upset. You just don't do stuff like that. But that's the kind of stuff that's been going on through this whole campaign, not just with myself, with other candidates around the city. And politics is in a different place now, and I think people see that. Malden's at a pivotal moment. It could go either way. We're either going to be a super progressive community or just a progressive community. I'm more on the progressive side. I'm for a hand up, not a handout. You know what I mean? I watched my mother struggle with 5 kids and work her tail off to get everything she had. And I think there's a movement now that people just, a lot of people like, let's get all these programs, everything's for free. And I don't think that helps us as a city right now.
Now, you were out of politics for a while. You took a break, and you were looking out there, kind of on the sidelines, and you got back into it. How'd that happen?
Well, I can say I was comfortable sitting at home on the couch with the wife and kids and going to volleyball, soccer. My daughter is the goalie at Malden High. She's a senior this year. My daughter plays volleyball at Malden High. But you know what? There was no competition going on, and I've seen some of the decisions that have been made in Ward 4. Downtown development, where they're giving special permits, where the Board of Appeals voted unanimously not to grant that permit, yet the council have pushed it. The bike lanes, the bus lanes that are coming, I find it kind of curious that they didn't do their tests that they were going to do on Route 60 on the bus lanes before the election. There's a reason for that, because I think once that happens, they did a test out on Broadway today, and it was an absolute nightmare. There were cars backed all the way up past the town line because they put cones out to see how it would work. Decisions like that I don't think they're really asking their constituents what they want, and that's what kind of said, listen, you're not going to get a free ride. You're going to be accountable for what you say and do, and if I have it wrong, I have it wrong. But I think I have my finger on the heartbeat of the community, because I do talk to a lot of people, but you know what? I could have it wrong. I don't think
we'll find out tonight.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out at 8:05.
So we're having the candidates look into that camera, and as if you're talking to your voters, what would you say to them?
I would say if you want someone that's going to be your voice, your actual voice on the city council, I think come out today, you got 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Jeff Donahue is the guy you should vote for. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate it. Good luck up there, man.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, let's get a shot of these campaign workers here. Hey, rev it up, Jackie.
They're over there.
Excuse me, Jackie. We want to get a shot of you guys like doing your thing. Here they are. Jeff Donahue's crew here, and they got a few words to say.
Jeff is definitely the right candidate for Ward 4. He's a straight shooter. doesn't pull any punches. He's been a friend of mine for many, many years, and I'm proud to be here to support him. I don't live in Ward 4, but if I did, I would vote for Jeff.
All right, there you have it for Jackie Boulaya. All right, there you go. That was the last word we did. I want to thank Jeff, and again, I wish him luck. I know it's difficult to lose and still, you know, be in the public's eye, but we're very happy to be here with a winner, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank him for coming by. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new Counselor at Large on City Council, Carrie McDonald. Carrie, how you doing?
Thank you so much, Ron. It's good to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, how did you do this?
Yeah, well, it was good old-fashioned campaigning and outreach. I have to tell you, we ran a very serious, competitive campaign from the beginning, and that was a campaign built on reaching out to all parts of the community. You know, I think sometimes campaigns start with just looking at the same old folks who typically vote, and folks who are invested in vote every single election, they're absolutely bread and butter. And part of what makes this such a great community is the mix of people that are in Malden. And so that's also what my campaign was about, is about making sure that all folks had access to information in their own language, that they knew the election was happening. And we knocked on doors. I personally knocked on thousands of doors. I canvassed in every single ward, every single precinct in the city. We worked, across every neighborhood, every background to make sure that people got our message and they heard, what we're about. We had volunteers from all over the city coming out to help make sure that message reached folks, and clearly that resonated. So I'm just beyond honored to be able to serve, starting next year as one of our Malden City Councilors. Very grateful for the opportunity.
In terms of the numbers, did you get a sense of what wards were more, you got more votes than the other? Was there one section of Malden that supported you more than the others, or was it across the board?
Well, I think what we saw in the results is that we saw the same ranking of candidates pretty consistently across wards, and that the top three candidates, of which I'm grateful to be one, were pretty consistently the top three candidates in every precinct. So you see it change a little bit there. But I think that reflects the fact that we campaigned everywhere, and everybody has a seat at the table. That's the Malden that we want. We want to make sure everybody has a seat at the table. And we modeled that with our campaign. And so I'm really grateful, that message resonated, and then that translated into the result that we have on Election Day. I want to say congratulations to my other city councilors, elect Karen Colon-Hayes, as well as Councilor Craig Spadafora, who is going to be returning for another term.
And top the ticket in terms of numbers. Prisco, any thoughts, questions? Or?
Yeah, no, it was in a great race. Congratulations. Definitely with two open seats, and so it's great that everybody jumped in there, and we got a good showing, 6 people. One more, we could have got a preliminary, but we're happy that we had the choices.
Yeah. I'll also just add that I think that there's often, there's a lot of noise in campaigns, that tends to be insider baseball. And I think that what we really try to do in our campaign is stay focused on the issues, stay focused on our priorities, stay focused on our message. And I think that's what the voters appreciated. I really do, because we've got a lot of challenges, we got a lot of opportunities, we got a lot of strengths in this community. And my campaign always came from the love that I have for being in Malden, raising my kids here, and just wanting to see that it continues to be such a great place to raise a family for everybody that's here. Great place to, grow older, a great place to be a single person, a great place to be. And so I think that's that tone of the campaign is really important for helping, even after the divisiveness of campaigns, which is so, can be so often the case, that we do find our way forward together as a community. So I really look forward to that, carrying that spirit and that ethos to my service on City Council.
Carrie, the other thing I'd like to say is that how you use media. I must say, you were at every forum. You were the first candidate to take advantage of Meet the Candidate with Guillermo, where he came down here and you did your spiel. So you were very in tune to using every format that's available. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the forums, how you felt about them and what kind of effect they had in your campaign.
Yeah, well, I loved the forums. I thought they were a lot of fun. I like talking to people. I like talking about issues. I like getting down into the details. And so I took them seriously and prepared, just trying to figure out what are the issues that are going to be most important, what are the issues that are going to get raised. And I So I really appreciate UMA creating that opportunity for folks to learn more about the campaign. I would regularly tell people, as I might knock on their door and they'll say, well, I'm not sure, I don't know about all the candidates. I say, well, watch the forum. I think you can get a good picture of what we're about, what our priorities are, what it is that we would really, represent as if we get a chance to serve on the council. So I think that's, you mentioned other media. We certainly used social media and other ways to reach out to people. And we really tried to reach out to people in every way that we could. So, there's nothing that beats talking to someone face to face at their doorstep. I can't tell you how many people said to me, thank you for knocking on my door, because it hasn't always happened, especially not in at-large races, because it's, so many doors. And of course, you talk to everybody. That's right. It's citywide, but that's always the best. But we try every way we can to make sure that we get in contact with people. I put my phone number, my email on everything. Some people will call me and tell me about something that happened in their neighborhood, something happening on their street, and I made notes. I made notes of the things. When I talk to somebody at the door and they have a specific thing, they say, "I want you to look into this." I say, "I will." I made notes about those things so that I can follow up on them once I'm sworn in.
Oh, that's great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so
really
much.
appreciate also you dropping by.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it almost went full circle. The first candidate to use our Meet the Candidate resource, and the last candidate to take advantage of our election night show. So,
Yeah.
Carrie, thank you so much.
Thank you. And if I can just say
Yes, go ahead.
to the voters, am I looking at this?
Look right in that camera.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to serve this community. My phone number is 781-627-5506. And so please call me at any time. I'm not going to pick up at any hour of the night, but I will call you back. You can also, my campaign email address has been carrie@mcdonaldformalden.com, and I'm sure I'll get a city address, and I really want to be able to be available to you if you're listening to this in English, but we'll make sure that we can get things translated as well. And so I really want you to feel like you can reach out to me, and so that I can ably represent our entire community. Thank you so much for this opportunity and putting your trust in me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Carrie McDonald, new city councilor at large.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate that.
All right, well, gee, by golly, I think this is finally coming to a close, I think. And again, I want to thank all the candidates.
You got
What's that?
You got one more opportunity here.
Oh, Karen, I didn't see you out there. Oh, my God. Hold on. We got another candidate. Just showed up. Do you mind? We just kind of
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go
Congratulations, Karen.
from Carrie to Karen. Carrie to Karen. There we go. Oh, long shot.
All right. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
All right. Stand back. All right. All right. Another. I wouldn't say new face. 'Cause she's been in the face of this community for a long time.
I just came from Faces.
There you
Thank
go.
You.
Ladies and gentlemen, another new councilor at large, Karen Coleman-Hazen. Fantastic.
Thank you. So excited. I'm so
Congratulations.
excited. I really did actually just walk down the street from Faces. So if anyone's out there and want to meet us over, we'll be there for a while.
So talk about this, the work involved, and you were out there. There's no doubt about it. I think I thought you had like an avatar going around. You were everywhere. Talk about that experience.
Yeah. So it was definitely one of the best experiences of my life. I said that it changed me. It was so fulfilling. I really loved it. Anyone who knows me knows I'm about the people. I'm about listening to them, talking to them, getting things done. So even though I was campaigning, I was still working. I was actually...
People forget that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, working with the people. So I would go out and hear, like from seniors, let's say, they were having issues with their health care, and they were having, I contacted, Catherine Clark's office. We got them together. We ended up solving some issues. So even during campaigning, I was still working, which is good. Already doing the job. And so it was fantastic. I love knocking on doors was my favorite thing. My campaign manager laughs at that, like he doesn't hear that a lot, but it honestly was my favorite thing, calling people, just hearing from the people and being able to talk about how, listen to them and then, give them my thoughts on how I think we can do better here in Malden.
Frisco, anything you want?
Yeah, congratulations, Karen.
Thank
That's
you so
fantastic.
much.
It's great.
Hi, Frisco. Yeah. So
the other thing is the campaign itself. It was kind of rough at first in terms of what was going on. I think like Frisco talked about how it wasn't as bad as in the past in terms of the negativity.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
So how did, again?
Yeah, I didn't. I've been on worst campaign. My campaign was so positive. That's all we did. We made good friends. I met people and brought them in. They're like in my home. That's just how we are. I met Carrie, and we formed a great relationship. We also helped each other through this. We were each other's cheerleaders. To get through this was hard. I have a pretty thick skin, so things kind of rolled off my back. But you're right. There was definitely some stuff that came out in the beginning, but just let it go. And people were talking about divisiveness and divide. I just didn't understand it because I didn't feel like that at all. What I feel like is, everyone has a right to run. Everyone has a right to say what they think is good here for Malden, and it shouldn't be, thought of as negative. Everybody has an opinion. I'm really big on free speech and listening to people's, if you don't agree with them, that's okay, but you don't have to get personal about it. So I just kind of put my head down, did what I needed to do, and got the job done.
It must feel really nice to, have been working with the senior center, and then all that kind of disappeared, and you say to yourself, what am I going to do now? Well, by golly, we know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. My job is not done here, and that's why I have more to give to this city. It's always been about the people in the city, and it's always been about the marginalized and people who don't usually come out and have their voices heard. Even way back when I was campaigning with the mayor, it was about, he asked, what do you want to do? I want to bring the voices of the people in the city to City Hall, the people who don't usually have a voice. So it's still about that, never changed, very mission and vision focused. And so, and I was really proud of my campaign team. They're amazing, proud of my family. And we're just looking to get to work. And I was like, we were at home watching those numbers come in. Our team was like putting some numbers together, and it's like, Craig, Karen. And well, it was going up and down, and then Carrie coming in, and was just like, waiting to see that was exciting. And I think that we should be really proud. The two first-time candidates came that close. I think I was like less than, maybe a little over 100.
Yeah, I'm not sure the final numbers, but I think you were second.
I was second and like really close, like maybe a little over 100.
Yeah.
So
and first time
proud of
running
that.
in for office. And that's pretty a marvelous thing to accomplish.
Thanks. Yeah, we worked really hard.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Well, what we're saying is, there's that camera right there. What do you want to say to your voters, the people here in Malden who maybe even didn't vote for you?
Absolutely.
They're city council at large.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone, people who came out, my volunteers, my family, everyone in Malden who voted. We need to get better at getting people out. That's something I'm definitely going to work on. Getting voter turnout is huge. Translating materials so that we can make sure that everybody comes out. But a big thank you, a congratulations to Carrie McDonald, a congratulations to Craig Spadafora, and everybody actually who ran in the ward races. It was a tough race. It shows something when there was that many people coming out to vote. It shows that people want to see something either different or happening. So thank you everyone so much. I'm so honored, and I can't wait to serve you all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Karen. Thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations. And all right, I think we're going to wind up now unless somebody just pops in out of nowhere. I don't think so. Again, congratulations, all the winners. Congratulations to even the losers, because I can't stress enough how important it is that if you feel that you want to get engaged in your community and you want to run for office, I think it's a great, it's a lot of work, but what a great thing to do for the community, to really represent them and to help build this community to be better than it can be. So we thank everybody that ran, and of course all the winners that are now going to go to work to help make Malden a better city. Thank you for watching. I want to thank Prisco. Prisco, thank you so much, man.
Ron, I'm a little bummed to hear that you're leaving.
Well,
I missed that.
It's like one of these things that happen. You can't be somewhere forever.
You've always been the face.
I know, but
I'm sad to see.
We can get a new face.
Okay. Best of luck.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm actually
absolutely.
looking forward to new things, but I'm still going to be involved, and I'm not leaving this yet.
Yeah.
So, but again, this would be my last political forum election night. So. I've had a great time doing it. I kind of feel like Guillermo now. but I'll still go be around. You know, we got a winter to get through, and spring's coming. So, but again, the future for me is beyond that. And this is not my time to say goodbye, but I will thank all the crew here that helped out. Milton on camera, that's here for Milton. Karen He is somewhere in control room. And by the way, Karen He was my camera person when we went to all the wards, and she was totally amazed. She didn't realize how big Malden is. She says, we're going to the east side now, we're going to the west side. So thank you for, and she edited all that too. So I appreciate Karen He for doing that. Talonzo is also in the control room. And I want to thank him for directing and doing everything that one needed to do to make this show happen. Let's hear it for Talonzo, yes.
Great job.
And Sharon Fillier for being... Oh, James Mudge is helping too. James Mudge, thank you so much. I know he was taking photos. I tell you, we got a great crew down here, and I can't stress enough how important...
Sharon again?
And I'm going to thank Sharon again. Sharon Fillier.
She was excellent.
She's fantastic. You were great, Chairman. Thank you so much.
And also Osa.
Oh, Osa, that's right. She was helping out with getting people in the door and making sure they knew where to go.
Are you doing this next team?
And anybody else? All right. Don't leave anybody out. But again, we've got a great team here, and if you want to get involved down here at UMA, all it takes is walking in the door or going online. You can get involved, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on UMA Urban Media Arts. Thank you.